All right. Welcome. I'm going to get started here. We'll go ahead and get this full screen, and I'm going to share the screen with you all. And you all should be seeing my screen right now. All right. So welcome to Resources for Financial Education. This program is just part of over 65 free Money Smart Month financial education events that are occurring all over the St. Louis metro area in partnership with financial institutions, nonprofit agencies, libraries, schools, churches, and local government. Money Smart Month is a community education initiative sponsored by the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition with in-kind support from United Way of Greater St. Louis. The events are also made possible by our funders, which include Stifel Bank, Commerce Bank, First Mid-Bank, Montgomery Bank, and many others. Visit moneysmartstlouis.org to learn about other personal finance events, the coalition, our sponsors, and our work. Survey. There's going to be a survey at the end. Each of you will be asked to complete a short online survey at the end of the class. We ask that you take a few minutes at the conclusion of the class to provide some feedback about today's discussion, as well as how you learned about the program and Money Smart Month. This information is very important to maintain quality and help the coalition plan for future events and class offerings. If we wish to be informed about future Money Smart Month events and other free financial education activities throughout the year, you can include your email address on the survey. And I'll put the survey in the chat at the end, and you all can copy and paste that, or probably link it out of your chat, depending on how your setup is. So in this particular program, which is Resources for Financial Education, I hope to show you the various financial databases and education resources St. Louis County Library has available to you. The databases can be used for various types of financial planning, such as college savings, retirement savings, banking, and insurance scouting, and by independent investors. There are lots of tools and information contained in these databases. We'll be showing off many of the tools. Any search or use of these tools, display of information, mention or choice of financial product in this program is merely for demonstration only and does not constitute any type of financial advice or endorsement. You are encouraged to do your own research and engage in your own continuing financial education, and when necessary, contact and consult with appropriate financial professionals. This presentation is not individual investment advice or financial advice. I will be presenting a partner program on Saturday the 23rd at 3 p.m. It's called Financial Research and Databases. I believe maybe some of you have signed up for it. It will be held again there. So it's going to be a little bit more in depth on some of that, and I'll mention the resources that I'll go into more in depth on that, but I'll just cover certain aspects of these. This is going to be mostly for financial education for you. All right, we proceed on. Once again, I think I didn't record. My name is John Henry Muir. I am a reference specialist with the St. Louis County Library, just in case anybody new has come on or I wasn't recording at that time. All right. So let's go and start with a few free resources that are even outside the library. So even if you don't have a library card, these resources should be available to you at any time, at least from within the United States, and they should be available globally for you. They're mostly focused on U.S. financial products, well, not U.S. financial products, financial services from the U.S. government. So let's first look at this resource called Investor.gov. You can see a lot of these have the same ending for the URL, the same domain name there. So if you go to Investor.gov, what Investor.gov has is a lot of resources for investors, for personal and investment professionals. So they have financial tools and calculators, introduction to investing. So there are they have some questions to ask before investing, headed in the right direction, markets work, a lot of awesome information here. There is working with an investment professional, guides on working with investment professionals, as well as ways to look up other companies. You can search up, well, not companies. There are financial tools and calculators. So you can do an investment professional background check. They're going to take you through the steps on that. There's advisor public disclosure. So if you're looking for a company or a firm, this is a way you can look up. And I mentioned about contacting financial professionals. This is one way you can kind of do a little small background check on them. There. They do have calculators, including a college savings calculator, which you can go to. I'll be showing you lots of calculators, and I'll be diving into one that I personally like a lot. So, which is later on. Savings goal calculator, in which you can plug in savings goals for you for any type of particular need you might want, whether it be something like building a down payment on a house, or building other options you want to go. And I'll show you some other calculators as we go on. A lot of these tools I have do have different types of calculators. Some people like other ones more than other ones, more than others. How to kind of get investing on your own if you kind of want to go out on your own instead of using a professional. Direct investing and online investing. So that's Investor.gov. Another one we have is Consumer.gov. This is the Consumer Finance and Protection Bureau, or Federal Trade Commission, and it is going to talk you through mostly about lending options for you, about how to manage your money and kind of protect certain aspects of your money using different financial tools out there. It's probably a lot more basic than the investor one. It's mostly focused on money management and how to go about money management and the upsides and downsides of these type of options, such as prepaid cards. It's going to be in real simple language as of what a prepaid card is. It's very focused on the consumer and very good for money management money management choices here, as well as credit cards, loans and debts, and other options, kind of more of a more security options as you begin to put your name and your financial resources out there, particularly online, since a lot of the resources are gone online, protecting your identity and protecting yourself against scams and near scams. Next we have is MyMoneygov. So this is from the Financial Literacy and Education Commission. Now, this website isn't necessarily focused on the consumer. It's kind of there for educators, a lot of the information here. But if you're a researcher here, or you have a teen you'd like to learn, or if you're a teen yourself and you'd like to learn about information and such, it is here. So there is federally funded research reports on products here. That's kind of what I want to point out for most individual consumers or individual investors. So from this clearinghouse, you can access just by clicking through. A lot of these have option click through terms here. So let's go and use that here. And click on some of the reports are laid out below. Sometimes your options don't show up. So here's navigating the market, and you have some full reports. So these are sort of government publications on various types of savings options, financial regulations that have gone out there that are aimed at consumers. Whatever you'd like to know, that information is here. And this is FDIC. This is more of a consumer-facing. FDIC is the insurance, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation that insures banks and your deposits in there. And they have a consumers option, so you want to go to consumers here. And they have information about what banking means to you and what banking insurance means to you. Okay, something like the Money Smart Financial Education Program they have in here as well that you can go through and learn about financial topics, including some sort of like fun little games you can have that'll teach you about money management and debt and investing. And finally, I'll show this consumerfinance.gov. We had a little peek into that. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the bureau that is tasked with basically simplifying that credit information you find and information you find on your credit cards and other types of loan products, as well as certain types of savings products that make simple. They have simple explanations for these complicated products. So you can find answers here for certain money questions. They even have an education section. But if you want to look up topics, you can just hop to the money topics, or you can see their top topics here. That is not clicking through. So you can see financial decisions about buying a house if you want to, about the steps you can take to go through that. And I'm going to show you a few more tools that we have that are longer courses. A lot of these, if you want to look at how to compare loan offers, you can go through these steps here and kind of like begin to explore what these interest rates means, what your loan estimates might mean, and options for you, so you can make a better decision about your financial future. Does anybody have any questions about these government resources? I can show you a few more if you're interested. The Federal Reserve has one. If you're interested in more like economic education and monetary policy, or particularly working with new people managing money, like such as, like I mentioned earlier, a teenager. But yes, so there's information. The Federal Reserve has a education site as well. Right. So move on to the resources the library has out there, and it is a lot of resources. So the first ones that I have in italics are ones I'm going to cover in more detail. So I'm going to go on down here. I'm actually going to look at LinkedIn Learning as one, and I'll show you how to get to many of these resources at the library. So I'm going to show you the library's page. So we're going to look at LinkedIn Learning, and we just got this working a couple of days ago, so hopefully it's working again. So the library page, to access these resources, I always recommend beginning at slcl.org. It might be you might like to bookmark these, but I typically like to recommend against that, because sometimes these websites change exactly how they're accessed, and so you go to the bookmark and you might get a bad link. But if that happens, if you do have a bookmark and you have a bad link, to go through this process I'm going to show you. So the first resource I'm going to show you is called LinkedIn Learning. Well, the easiest way to get the resources, if you know their names, is to go here to research, go to resources A to Z. So we know LinkedIn Learning is what we're looking for, and we see the alphabet here. These are all the library resources A to Z. So we click on L, we get to LinkedIn Learning. We see this alphabetical here. We'll hop to LinkedIn Learning. We click on that. It's going to open up there and get started. You may have known LinkedIn Learning by a previous name called lynda.com. Lynda.com got absorbed into the LinkedIn network and became known as LinkedIn Learning. If you've used lynda.com before through the library, everything should work a-okay if you just enter your library card number and your PIN. And it'll access there. And if you've used LinkedIn Learning before, it should tie into your previous coursework here. So if we just look up something like personal finance, we can see there's 34 course results for personal finance in LinkedIn Learning. And so these are kind of self-guided courses in which they have professionals in the field guiding you through topics in a field. LinkedIn Learning is primarily focused on the technical side, but they have options here for personal finance. If you're looking at investing, maybe more so you want to look at investing in the stock market. So you have managing personal investments, basics of the stock market. They have all kinds of options here that you can dive into a lot of detail about options here for you. Kind of if you already know a little bit of Excel, you can begin to use Excel for yourself. There's investing in ETFs. So actually, let's look up and search and see what comes up for ETFs. Just do ETF. And we can see that comes up here. Stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds. You can see I began to look at that from a demonstration before. Investing in funds and ETFs. So you can see a long list of options here. So a lot of options for you. Does anybody have questions about LinkedIn Learning, or if you've used it before, if you've had any things you want to recommend about it? Be happy to hear about that. All right. The next resource I'd like to show you all is Gale Courses. And once again, to get to there, it is it's sort of an instructor-led. The LinkedIn Learning was, yeah, the links, the slideshow will be emailed to you, and I'm going to show you how to access these resources from the library page. The links should this one doesn't have links, but the name of these resources are going to be in there, and I'll show you how to get to these from the St. Louis County Library webpage at slcl.org. If you know the name, so the name will be on the presentation. From the homepage, you go into research. If you go to resources A to Z, you just go by the name. So we're looking at the Gale Courses. It's going to be under G. So here you have Gale. You want to scroll down until it says Gale Courses. As you can see, it's alphabetical here, and just click on the name. And since I logged in previously today, it's going to take me to the Gale Courses. If you log in earlier, what's going to happen is it's going to ask you for your library credentials. So that's your library card and your PIN. If you haven't logged into a library resource or the library catalog in the last, let's say about 3.5 weeks, just note that your PIN probably has changed to the last 4 digits of your phone number, or 1234 if you don't have that on hand. If neither one of those work, there's always a reset option, or you can call us up and we'll walk you through getting that set. Or you can visit your local branch or your favorite branch, and they can get that updated for you if you need. All right, this resource is called Gale Courses, and we can see the option is really it's in business, but I always like to go personal finance just to do a search. If I can spell it right, there we are. Personal finance, and we hit enter, and here's some options for personal finance. So you can see they have this one kind of sets up a little bit more like you would expect from a traditional course. They have course start times, and then they have weekly course content that comes out on a weekly basis. So it covers a few times. So if you can go here to personal finance here, you can see the course start date. If you want to kind of browse a course, you can kind of see what the syllabus is, see when the first lesson is, see when the second lesson is, and how they progress and what they cover. See if this kind of ties into you. So you can see if there's any kind of prerequisites. There's no prerequisites, and then some reviews of the course if people have reviews of the course, and you can see some of that, how that you can see some related courses here as well for that. These are really interesting. Almost all instructor-led courses. Just keep in mind that that it's kind of up to you how you want to approach these courses. I'm not going to be checking in. Nobody at the library is going to be checking in to make sure you finish these courses or anything like that. It's kind of up to yourself. If you feel the course is too much for you, you can skip out. These courses are provided to you just because you have a library card. So we hope you take it. We love you taking advantage of these courses. So if you're looking at investing, a little bit more detailed stuff, I'll just do the simple investing, just the investing search here. So you can see there's other types of investing. So stocks, bonds, and investing on my for the simple investor. If you're really getting intense and want to do something that's more of a business for yourself, there's real estate investing, and of course the course we looked at before, general personal finance. Does anybody have any questions about Gale Courses? So here's a course on money management, a little bit even more simple than maybe in personal finance. So yeah, so it's going to be, if you're fresh to it, you'll have to know that. So it's about how to kind of begin that money management process. All right, the next resource is going to be how do we get into Gale Courses? I'll take you through a quick step. So from the St. Louis County Library website, which is slcl.org, if you just go to the research section, it's called Gale Courses. So you see here in research, resources A to Z. We go to G, and then we go down to Gale Courses, and we just click on the name, and that takes us right to Gale Courses. Thank you for that question. I always like to walk through these steps of how to get to the resources. It's a question that sometimes I breeze through too quick because I know exactly how to get to them, and I know it's that foundation I like to build. All right, the next one is going to be, we're going to take a real quick look at the library catalog. We did get a new catalog. It works the same as our old catalog, very similar. So here, if we look in the books you need more, we can go to the catalog. We can also do a search right from the home page. I like to use the catalog and just click the catalog here. And if we looked up investing before, so we'll just look up the keyword investing and see what shows up here. So here's a book investing. So when we get to a book and if we're interested in it, we can do a place a hold, and that'll ask us to log in, and we can place a hold and pick it up at our favorite branch. The good thing is about our new catalog is not only is it looking at our St. Louis County Library collection, it's also going to be looking at St. Louis Public Library collection, as you can see here. So if a book if a book wasn't available in the county collection, you kind of had to find other options to go out. But this will make more books available to more people more often. It might take an extra day to bring it from the public library to the hold shelf for you, but that's how it is. I'm gonna do a quick just about how to navigate the new catalog, just so we know. If you're looking for a book, you can click on the book. You can also click on DVDs. How much you have to pay? You have to pay. Do you have a library card? If you have a library card, you have to pay. You've already paid for it, actually. Is what. So if you have a library card, you've already paid for Gale Courses and LinkedIn Learning. You just have to log in using your library card, and you are good to go. Yeah. All right. Here's investing, and from here we can see related resources. So you're like, wait a second. This says investing, and this says investing for dummies. The way the catalog works for such a resource is it's looking at. You can see it's been published for several years, so it's going to have different. Like it's got the all-in-one here, but it might have previous years that we might still have on the shelf that are circulating here. You can also see 206 related resources. So you can now see all 206 resources related to this. These are resources that are categorized the same as this one, have the same category listings as this one, have similar authors and such. I'm not sure about bid opportunities on Gale Courses, but there might be, maybe you saw something there. Gale Courses, it's an not collections. Gale Courses, it's education courses. They're typically 24 courses long. They're going to be set up as they're going to be courses. So here's one right here for RFP responses and stuff like that. A course on that. It's going to be probably about 24 courses on that. That's going to be a kind of a separate course from this, not to distract us from that. But you can see the syllabus, how the course runs here. So back to the catalog. We have the investing one here. If you want to do a search again, you can just do a search, or you can go back to the book and you can see, go back to details here. See more in the series and the dummy series. Some related books. And actually, what was I here? Let's go back to this resource. Ah, there we go. That's what it did. So it even has topics. So you can see the topics that this book is listed under. It's listed under 3 topics here. And it's listed under personal finance, investments, and finance. So here you see under personal finance, the category subject personal finance, we can see all the different resources in personal finance. And if you want to see other kind of contributors and stuff like that, they have all the authors that have added to that and some related topics. So retirement planning, investments, income planning, wealth, building wealth there, financial security, and a long list of options. So like, and if you see something, a book that you're interested in, let's actually look at debt escape plan, kind of a money management option. You can always place a hold. So you can do any edition or newest edition. It gives you a lot of options for going that. If you want to see more details, you can obviously click on the details option. If you're interested in a table of contents, most of these books have a table of contents. This kind of see also will help you with the details of that. All right. And we're going to move on to Overdrive and Libby. Now, a lot of the books that you look up when you look up on the catalog, you will see stuff in Overdrive and Libby. But if you're looking specifically for Overdrive and Libby, these are books that you can basically take with you. What Overdrive and Libby are ebook options, and they also have in Overdrive and Libby, they're going to have magazines that you might not think about, but they might be very good for you. So if we go here to books, e-media, and more, you can go to e-media. This uses a website. We probably do have that. You won't be able. Gale Courses will just have those free courses, and they'll probably have PDFs to download with the syllabus and course reading material in that. Each course kind of works a little bit different. The video resources on financial related topics. The LinkedIn Learning is all video based. They're kind of like, if you're familiar with YouTube, they're kind of like YouTube ones. They're high quality instructors offering very specific courses and that would be like LinkedIn Learning. I can also show you one other resource that you might have access to. I'm going to get back to yeah, I'm going to get back to Libby and Overdrive here in a second, Justin, and we'll get back to the one more video resource that we have that might be useful for you. So I'm going to look at Libby here. Well, not look at Libby. Libby is an app you can have on your phone. You can see there are, might be a visual learner. They do have, or an audio learner. They do have audiobooks. So that's something you can even listen to in the car because you can take it with your mobile device. You can take it on the go, listen to it on headphones on a run or a walk or anything like that. But I'm going to show you Overdrive since I'm using the computer here, and Overdrive is made as to be on a desktop computer option. But Libby and Overdrive have the same collection. So all the items I'm going to show you here work here. Yeah, and do the search. So let's look personal finance again. So personal finance, oh, here we see, and I mentioned magazines, here's Personal Finance Magazine. So here's a Kiplinger's Personal Finance, and you can actually browse magazines if you want in Overdrive. So that's an amazing thing. That's what I really want to point out with Overdrive and Libby, that you can peruse magazines. So if you go into the magazines options, there should be, it's taking me back to here. Here are subjects in magazines. And then if we go to business and finance, we have 120 magazines in business and finance. So from all over the world. So if you're interested in investing all over the world, it's there. But then there's US ones here, such as Fast Company, Entrepreneur, Money Magazine, Kiplinger's. The Economist is here too. It says The Economist. It is very much a business-oriented kind of news magazine, but it doesn't necessarily cover strictly business topics. It does cover global news topics as well. And all other types of options here. You can see there's global stuff here. Forbes Africa, a lot of interesting options. So yeah, not only does Overdrive have magazines, they have other, actually, some retirement options as well. So some Susie Orman books and other options like that. right. We do have, so I mentioned, so we do have Factiva and Flipster, which are other magazine resources, but since you asked about the video option, I believe our Canopy option does have a personal finance learning section. So Canopy is a video service, and you can actually stream it on your home TV. You can also stream it to your mobile device. So I'm just going to go in here to browse. Actually, I'm going to log into our reference account. It's a little bit easier to browse when you're logged in. So they have great courses. I got to spell finance correctly. So options here. Let's see. So here's like the here's a great courses on the art of investing that we can click through. They've got genres of business skills here, and these are all videos. You have a certain amount of checkouts a month, but if you do get the great courses don't count against your credits. So you can watch the great courses to learn, and you can watch your movies to have fun. So those are the options down here about investing and other stuff right here. So yeah. Go here, financial statement analysis and other options right there if you want to look at that. Here's financial planning. So lots of videos out there for you. Somehow this is not clicking through. Sorry about that. Taking up time for me trying to click. All right. So I'm going to move on to another library resource called Financial Literacy. And it's presented by Rosen Digital. And how we get to that is one option. Obviously, as I told you before, we go to research. We'll go to resources A to Z. And it's called Financial Literacy. So financial starts with an F. We'll hop to Financial Literacy. I'm going to go and open it up in a new tab. And this is going to be a little kind of reading courses. There's going to be some videos, as you see right here. It covers tax filing and other options right there. But if you're looking at information about how money and financial institutions work, you're going to see there's a little review on financial crises, credit crises. So there'll be a little chaptered story on this here. So you can hop through next sections, get a real quick breakdown of how these markets work in an uncomplicated way. Now, what this also has, it also has interactive activities for creating business plans and other options here. It also has these financial tools and calculators you can use. So it does have the auto loan payment calculator if you're trying to figure out auto loan payments, how to build a budget to support your lifestyle. The main target for this are teens and early money managers, personal like people going not money managers as a professional, but people getting into living on their own for the first time. But it does give you a breakdown of how to this. It's really kind of a simple, kind of straightforward options about looking at like economics and financial systems. That's broken down in really easy language for you. And if there's a subject you're looking in, just do a little search for it, and you can see the major stock indices and the stock markets and what they are out there. Say it's just a real quick little couple paragraphs on those, and you can really get a quick kind of catch up on what that is. Show you personal finance. Here. Yeah, so I was going to show you about paying for options and how to save and invest and planning and money management. That's what I want to point out as well. Simple money management skills. The next resource I want to show you is going to be a little bit more involved, and if you want to learn more about it, this will be covered in more specific detail in my next program, in which I'll cover a lot of the more in-depth options about here. But what I just want to show you here with Weiss financial ratings are two general things. So we have this open. We have the research resources A to Z, and we want to go to W for Weiss financial ratings. We see it right here at the top. As it loads up, I'm going to go and log in with my own options because it works a little bit better when you're logged in. Let me log in. And here's your home page for the Weiss financial ratings. You can always set up a watch list and other options like here. But what I really want to show you is here in this financial literacy basics. I'm going to open it up a new tab. And we have various, these are kind of pamphlets. They're longer pamphlets than what you may have seen in that financial. These are a lot more focused on adult consumers. So this is what I like to point out here. And this is kind of your basic lending, but they do get a little bit more complex. So they have financial literacy, how to become an investor. So we'll talk about financial products here, such as alternative investments. These are investments like getting types of investments that aren't necessarily stocks and other types of stuff like this, and going into real estate and whatnot. How to choose a financial advisor. What type of investor are you, what you want to invest for. So we'll go and if you just click on the title, it's going to open up, and you can actually download it to your computer if you want, or you can browse through it online and just kind of read through. And these are updated on a regular basis. You can see what they are, and they're just real quick chapter breakdowns. Unfortunately, the only way you'd have to do that if you want to search for a particular thing is kind of do a Control F and see if a product type of product is in there. Or you can read through from front to back in a traditional synchronized way instead of asynchronously. So all types of options, from even tax consequences from certain types of investing and other things out there, and how to balance those, become more tax efficient in your investment as you go along. They're real quick, real simple language. I myself have learned a lot from these, going through these, and how to calculate risk, and how those sometimes you'll have like mean and median and ratios and stuff like that, and these will explain what those are. See, it's 83 pages on that. Yes. And they have some financial planning tools for you, as I saw before. There should be. Let's actually go to our home page. Here, free financial planning tools. They're really mostly worksheets for you, and they help if you're shopping for here's a Medicare prescription drug primer, but they're going to be like little worksheets for you to use. So if you're basically kind of comparing against life insurance needs, or even like an auto insurance needs, they're going to have ways, if you're calling up auto insurance companies, that you can possibly see if you're going to can save money with your auto insurer. So you can list out, and you can kind of compare side by side through companies. You can actually ask them what their limit, the deductible, and the price of this is, and you can begin to see these companies there. In the other program, I can show you how you can browse for insurance companies. So that's going to be for the other program. That takes a long time to kind of go into, so that's why I'm skipping that here. Yeah. So you can even create an account and make financial products. I'm going to move on to the next option is the Medigap, and this is the Medigap finding, and this would be right here, and you can create your own personal Medigap report if you're somebody of an age. There's a dummy email that they tell you to use. Actually, I'll just copy and paste it. Yeah. .com. or you can have it emailed to your particular one or to somebody that you might know. It's the library. So it builds a Medigap report, and it breaks down the different types of Medigap coverage that you have and the insurance available in your locality, so in your state, that are available, and breaks down their monthly premium, their monthly and or annual premium, so you can begin to shop between these companies and see what Weiss has rated as their higher security or as their safer companies going into that. That's going to take a while to build, so we'll go on and move on to the next resource here. Next resource is called Value Line Online. And I have, and once again, if we've got the alphabet up here, we've got this here. We'll go to V for Value Line Online. It's the only one. We don't have to even browse down. We can open that here. And Value Line Online, see, it wants me to log in again. Excellent. So this is the login page that you get, as I mentioned before. So I checked these earlier, and I've now timed out. Here we have a login to these. Here we can see there is investment education. Now, what Value Line Online does have is it has, that I'll show you earlier, you can look up different types of quotes for companies here. And this is going to be what I cover in the other program. So you can look up quotes and their Value Line ratings. Now, the dashboard will give you updated news about stock market. And you can see all the publications that they have available, such as Selection Opinions. So if you begin to look into making investments into certain financial products, particularly with Value Line with stocks, or if you want to look at ETFs or mutual funds, they also have sources for doing that. But what I want to point out in this course, or in this program, is this investment education, this Value Line University option. So it's going to take you into looking at basics of investment, some investment strategies, and how to build a portfolio by professional educators, professional financial educators in this program, and then how you can go about studying a stock. So you can see studying a stock and using the Value Line product to study stocks. It is a very in-depth way to study stocks that Value Line has. It's very strong on the stocks here. So here's our Weiss ratings Medigap report. You just click report, and it's gonna, if you had the correct email address in there, it would send it there. We'll go and scroll down. So it covers what certain plans cover with that, and it has companies with their safety ratings here. So very in-depth, personalized report for individuals looking to get Medigap coverage. So I will cover a little bit of time we have left. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to look at one of their publications, and this is Selection and Opinion. And it's going to cover, it's kind of like how they kind of do theoretical portfolios and stuff, and so you can see how they build their portfolios, and they give their methodology behind why they chose certain portfolios. It's really interesting thing to look at and see how they approach their options. So if you want to perhaps have a similar approach or anything like that. Okay. Let me clear my throat here for a second. Okay. So the last resource I want to show you is called Morningstar Investment Research Center. And once again, it's going to be Morningstar. We'll go to M. And as that loads up, it has a lot of coverage of options for you. And there's education options such as articles and such, and Planet Education. So if we go to Morningstar Investment Research Center, go and open that up. I'll open it in a new tab. And Morningstar, I like to use if you are, and I'm going to cover in detail in the next program, for researching. It's very good. It's very good. I like to point people that are looking at mutual funds. It has a very good report on mutual funds, and also some solid interoperability for ETFs. Also, if you're looking for to invest in a sustainable manner, they have a particular sustainability value That'll be covered in the other option here. So you can see across the top here, they have a planning and education tab. And here in the planning and education tab, they have an investing classroom and college cost calculator. Let's go and start with the investing classroom, and I'll just show you a few of the courses that they have for this investing classroom. So they do have, if you're looking at particular financial products or particular financial plan, they do have those options here. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about mutual funds, they've got 9 courses at the level 100, 11 courses at level 200, and these are scaled courses, and these are typically text-based courses, and they kind of begin with a kind of a testing quiz to find out what you know, a beginning quiz as to what you know, and then a quiz at the end to find out what you've learned. So also in the planning and education option are portfolio x-rays, which I'm going to cover more in the other one, but they also have cost calculators for college and retirement. So we're running short on time. I'm going to show one of these off here, and that would be the retirement cost calculator. And it's a way you can begin to set up and use this calculator to plan for investing. I mentioned the other calculators before. I like how this one works. I just like its simplicity. Not one or more is better than the other one. This is just one I suggest to dive into at the first. So you can enter in your current age. So we'll do that. Planned retirement age. So you want to retire not too early, not too late, maybe. Retirement income from other sources, maybe some passive income or expected Social Security or any other thing like that. So let's just look at possible there just to make that easy, just as a sample. Current savings, you are lucky at 35 and you've saved this much in various resources. And you're trying to save about $100 a month. You can see if it might be enough that you want to have. A standard return maybe for you, and a risk-free rate. We'll get something, you've got a pretty good one there, and you can just hit calculate, and it's going to find out your retirement income at 65. Now, of course, you also want to think with inflation, which even is standard inflation, how much is that $35,000 going to go? So you may want to rethink, you know, what's going to happen when I do this. So yeah, $150. I wanted to do a little bit more. I want to do that much. There we are. So you can see how that changes, and you can do different types of goals. So you can see how much your annual, if you want to, let's say you actually want to do, you want to do $50,000 when you retire or something like that. So you'll have to go, wait a second, I'll need to save significantly more within these parameters to get to where I want to get at. So that's how those cost calculators work. I also want to show out something for education and kind of learning. They have all their financial reviewers and financial reporters here at Morningstar have articles and videos in a section. So they have sections, and you can break it down by advisor insights. You can even look at some of their investing specialists if you want. So you can actually filter it out to their investing specialists, and it will have just their investing specialists articles up there. So here, so you can see a taxable account, beat a 401k, all types of articles from this. Their main one is this Christine Bentz, who shows up a lot. Or if you're interested in seeing what the news is with ETFs, you can hop over here to ETF specialists. Don't select that. There we are. And you can see news on ETFs. So you can see how recently they've published. This one was published just the other day. So you can see the reports that they have on here and numbers, especially if you get into a more intense level of investing. They'll have that here. And they also, yeah, so here's some newsletters they publish. They publish about monthly or quarterly newsletters on different financial products as well for people investing in mutual funds or ETFs or anything like that. So they have a current issue of a fund investor in which they'll kind of highlight a few mutual funds in a PDF form that you can look at that have good ratings of late. So here's a particular recent one about how the war in Ukraine is affecting market response across the world and particularly other funds. So they highlight some funds and they'll give some related articles about that. Does anybody have any questions about the options I covered today? We're coming up towards the end, so I like to leave some things at the end, and I'm also going to do that link to that survey here at the end for you all. Here it is. So I'll keep this chat open. I'm going to go and put myself on mute. If I see a question show up, please, I'll turn the mute on. Got to clear my throat again. And just keep in mind that you can contact us at these options right here. So these are all available on the library page at the contact us section. Our phone number, you can text us with questions if one of the databases isn't working, or you need kind of a walkthrough to get on some of the databases I showed you, or just to know, since that question came up before, how do I get to this database? We'll walk you through. It'll be a good option for you. If you want to learn more about these databases, you can always book a librarian and we can show you more about these databases, particularly in depth and in detail about them if you're interested in getting into them even a little bit more. Chat option is also good too. There's a chat whenever you're in that reference. So whenever you're in the research section, over here in the corner is the chat button, and you can always chat with us there. Chat is almost closed. I don't want to busy them up by chatting right now. Does anybody have any particular thing that they were expecting to learn today or see what the library had that I may not have covered? Okay, I'm going to go and stop the recording, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoy a lot, and hopefully I'll see some of you next Saturday. All right, thank you.